My name is Natasha and I am 40.
Hi, I'm Katie. I am 42.
I'm Carrie. I'm 46 years old.
I'm Lizzie. I'm 38.
Jane Regan King, 55 years old.
Welcome back to Interwovxn's fourth season, featuring conversations centered on life's essentials and on celebrating and supporting women in middle life. We are thrilled this season to exchange support with Melnick & Melnick SC. Melnick & Melnick SC is a law firm of women dedicated to supporting small business owners. They manage legal issues with collaborative solutions, cost-effective strategies, and up-to-date communications. Melnick & Melnick SC values women and entrepreneurs so much that in 2017, they started She Stands Tall, a community of women who learn from and inspire each other. Visit melnickmelnick.com and shestandstallmke.com for more information and to learn about future events. For this season's final episode, we're bringing you a conversation between three friends, Shiquita, Ashley, and Chloe. They talk about their love languages, middle-life friendships, women supporting women in BIPOC businesses, exposing kids to unlimited life possibilities, finding their own parenting styles, raising Black girls, being whole, relationship expectations, travel as self-care, and so much more. A huge thank you to this season's featured musician, Gina Barrington. Remember to hit subscribe so you can be the first to know about new episodes, and visit our website to join the Interwoven community, receive newsletters and event information, access all of our resources, and to connect with us on social. Find us at interwoven.com. That's interwovxn.com.
Well, hello, ladies.
Hello,
Hey,
hello.
I'm Shiquita. I am 35. I am a mother of one. I think my love language right now has shifted into traveling. I feel like that's been a real thing heavy on me lately. I'm a Capricorn. I am a full-time entrepreneur, and I think my creative outlet is creating, using my hands, doing candles or hosting events.
Okay, so I'm Chloe. I'm 33. I'll be 34 in July. I have a little Spitfire. She's 7 years old. My love language has pretty much stayed the same. I'm real consistent, I guess. My love languages are quality time and words of affirmation. See, I'm a Cancer, and I'm definitely a Cancer through and through. I really don't believe in the zodiac, but I keep hearing like, oh, you are definitely a Cancer. Because I'm nurturing, I'm sensitive, I'm very intuitive, I'm dependable, driven, caring, all those really great things. But on the negative side, I guess I worry. I can be a little moody. I obsess, definitely. I'm very much a perfectionist, and I obsess over perfection, even though we know that that really doesn't even exist. So, and I think that right now my passion is definitely making sure that I'm thriving in like all aspects of my life. So that means like financially, mentally, emotionally, really honing in on like the mental and emotional wellness.
Great. Well, I'll go. My name is Ashley. I am a Virgo, and I am truly a Virgo through and through. I love anything about zodiac. I do believe what you said about Cancers. I know a couple of Cancers in my life, and I love them. But as a Virgo, I am not a perfectionist, but I do like things to be a certain kind of way, and then I panic when it doesn't happen. But I mean, that's life, right? I have two wonderful children. I have a 12-year-old daughter and a 16-year-old son. I am almost an empty nester. I don't know what that's going to look like. I don't know what that's going to feel like. It feels like I'm already at that stage because they were teenagers. When they were little, they wanted to be under me all the time. Now it's like they can't stand to be around me, only when they need something. And they're my both best friends. But I love being a mother. I think that the universe and God gave me my children to just ground me. My passion is early education, community activism, community engagement. I am the owner of Bougie Cup of Joe. I have been in business with that for almost 2.5 years. I'm not a full-time entrepreneur like I would want to be because my passion is early education. So I also help early education programs in Milwaukee and just help them thrive and strive and strengthen their practices. So from that's really my passion, but I find ways to pour into the cups of others. I think my love language at this very moment is acts of service. I love doing for others, but I also receive acts of service as well. A friend that I haven't seen in a while unexpectedly just left a gift on my door. It was something so small, but it was so meaningful. And those kind of things just really makes me happy. And also when it comes to acts of service, it's just doing for people. If someone calls and say, hey, Ashley, I need X, Y, and Z. If I got it, I can give it. I think right now, for me, it's just peace. I'm just definitely trying to find peace any and every way I can because the world is such a hot mess right now.
That's the true love language of my heart. It's acts of service.
I really never paid attention to my love language. And then when people started talking about it, I remember taking a quiz and I had my husband take a quiz. It was kind of dead on to what it was. I like words of affirmation too. I do like people to pour into me. I love to pour into people, but I also like to be poured into. Searching for that, but when someone says something to me that I'm not thinking of, that is reaffirming to me, it makes you say like, oh, you know what? I move too fast in the day-to-day that I don't pay attention to what I'm doing or what impact I'm making. Or for me, again, I'm a Virgo, so I never feel like I'm making a true impact because Virgos, we never feel like we're doing enough. So when someone says like, Ashley, you literally are doing enough, it's always good for someone to share something that you may not be paying no attention to.
Love language is interesting because I feel like I've known my love language for a long time, but I think how to implement that in a relationship, I did not find out and did not really understand until later. Because how we receive love is not necessarily how our partner receives love.
And, that's so good that you mentioned that because you think about it, we are pouring what we desire on people and they're not even receiving it. Mm-hmm. So it becomes draining to us to love this person because we think we loving them so much, but in reality, we're not even loving them the way that they're open to receive it. It takes some maturity. So for me, I find myself always wanting the best for people, family, whomever. If you're in my inner circle, I'm always trying to help. I'm always trying to do. But what I realized is that was a sense of control. Yes, you're trying to help, but you're trying to control them to do what you want. And I had to take a step back, like, this is very true. And I called it out myself, and my therapist was like, you know what? That's really good that you called yourself out on that. And she was like, because you're entering into this place of awareness, you're becoming more conscious of yourself and you're realizing the things that you're doing. Yeah, you think you're doing it out of love, but it's a sense of control. And when you let go of control, you kind of like free fall in a sense. And you don't realize that you're controlling these people because you're trying to help. But it goes back to like loving people. You have to love people the way that's fitting for them and not what's fitting for you. So that's good. That was good.
Now, that's a whole sermon right there. The whole loving people the way that they want to be loved and then releasing the control. And especially in leadership, I remember being in a role where I had overseen like 60 people, and that was a good thing, but it's also stressful because I have this thing where I want for people what they necessarily don't want for themselves. I see in people what they don't see in themselves, and I try to not make them become that, but I try to keep pouring into their cup where I say, you have the potential, you can do it. And sometimes they don't. They just like, you know what? I don't have the potential. And I had someone tell me before, they said flat out, I need you to stop pushing me because I will never be what it is that you want me to be because I don't want that for myself. And I had to sit back and I had to say, okay, so how can I support you? What do you need from me in this moment?
That shows that you're an even better leader because you can recognize that and acknowledge that and meet them where they are, wherever that is that they may be.
Absolutely. Yeah. And it's eye-opening when you realize that some people don't want to become the best version of themselves. Sometimes people are just so content with who they are, and that's okay. Learning that it's okay to let people be. That's the biggest sense of freedom. When you allow people to just be who they are going to be, you don't take everything personal. You don't take everything in and it drains you. And I'm learning it. I'm learning it. It's a practice every day.
And oh my goodness, it's just so hard. And just being an empath, I have this thing where I have these high expectations because I give high expectations, especially in friendships. I feel that I'm always the one checking in on people. How are you doing? What's going on? But then it's not reciprocal. And that used to. Now it doesn't bother me. Now I have come to a sense of, well, Ashley, you don't know what other people are going on with them. And everybody doesn't have the capacity to take on issues, right? Like I can take in 5 friends can call me in one day, astronomical issues. And it's like, okay, how can I help you, and you? Where I have some friends who can only do 1 phone call a day. And so I have friends now that call me and say, Ashley, do you have the space for me to share with you?
Mm-hmm. What are friendships like for you? So we're all over 30, right?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
So what do friendships look like for you all right now at this point in your life? I'm so interested because I feel like it's transformed and evolved And my definition of friendship has transformed and evolved. So I'm just interested.
I think for me, friendship is consistency. We don't have to talk every day. We can go 2 months without talking. We can pick up the phone any given time and connect, and no, it ain't gonna feel weird. It's not going to feel like, oh, you was acting funny. It's never personal. I think friendship is respecting each other's boundaries, showing up for each other in any time of need when it's needed. And once again, acts of service is a big thing for me. So I believe in acts of service too. That's friendship to me. It's about being there, being present. What you say is what you mean. And what I say, it goes both ways. How can I help you? Do you need prayer today? You know, it's a spiritual thing too. Like, let's have a spiritual connection, because we just cannot be living in this world and not have no type of spiritual connection. Even if we don't agree on everything, our moral values line up.
Yeah, I can definitely agree with you on that one. I can add to that. When I was younger, I learned at a very young age that having a lot of female friends would be nothing but trouble. I bonded more with males. It was something about the cattiness and the gossiping and the name being thrown as something that you said that you didn't say. It was just too much for me. It was too much. I was just like, nah, I can't do this. And as I got older, I kind of held on to that idea of, okay, I have to have a small tribe. I have to have a tribe. And that tribe has to be reciprocal. I also feel that friendships should be consistent, like you said, and they should also be very transparent and candid. I want friends that can call me out on my BS. If I have said something that has offended them, if I have done something wrong, I want that kind of friendship where someone can say, Ashley, you did wrong. I don't want yes men. I don't want yes women. I want people to say you're wrong, right? And I remember one of my good friends, I had said something, I had this idea, and he had shot it down. And I was so devastated. And I was like, well, why would you say that? And then he said, so you just want me to agree with everything that you do? And that was just an eye-opener. Like, I'm not here to please you. I'm here to be your friend. And I'm also here to be honest. So honesty has to be there as well. I want people that would pray for me. You know, even if you're not spiritual, and when you're doing meditation or whatever you're doing, you're Zen, I want my name to be mentioned, because I'm praying for all my friends as well, in whatever capacity they may look like. And I also want people where, if we don't talk all the time, I know if I call you and I say it's urgent, you will drop everything for me. And not a privileged kind of way. You just know that, okay, if Ashley is calling me and she's saying it's urgent, it must be something really serious. Because I don't really call about every single thing that happens in my life. Yeah. And I want to feel safe around my friends. I don't want to have to side-eye you every time you make a comment, or if you're applauding for me, you're not really applauding. I want to make sure, as we are cheering each other on, that it's legit. Friendships is very hard, and I'm 37 years old. I think I'm older than both of y'all. Yeah. So I didn't have my share of ups and downs in friendships. And I'm not perfect, and I'm pretty sure I have done things that was wrong to individuals too, but you learn and you grow. But I always say, if you can make it past, all these barriers and hurdles with one individual, then that person is meant to be in your life.
Yeah, I agree with everything both of you just said. I know somebody sent me a meme and it was like so perfect. I'm like, oh, that is me. They're like, this is you. I was like, you're right. And it was like me being a Cancer. It was like, you're a popular loner. It's like, you know a lot of people and a lot of people know you, but your circle is small and I'm usually by myself. And I feel like for me right now, being 33 years old, I think I'm definitely prioritizing quality over quantity, where it was the reverse when I was younger. I was like, I got all these friends. That means I'm doing something right. And it was like you said, keeping all those friends is hard work. Keeping up with all those people, checking in with all those people, showing up for all those people, that can be taxing. And I don't know how anybody could do that. And it's more about like pouring into those people who are your people, who support you, who are consistent, where there's no judgment, who are honest, who tell you what you need to hear when you need to hear it, even though you may not want to. I think that has been like the evolution of friendship for me in a very good way. Where it's like now I feel like my circle of people, especially with business, it's like a weed out course in college. It's like owning a business will show you very quickly who are your friends and who are not.
Absolutely, Clay. I like that part too. Pour into me. Tell me I'm doing a good job. Tell me keep breaking generational curses. What? Yeah. Yes. Being an entrepreneur is not easy. It's a challenge. And people look at entrepreneurs as if they're strong and they got it all together. Getting out, networking, trying to understand business in a way to scale, trying to stay on top of finances, trying to stay on top of all the logistics that go into business is not easy, but people see us and think that it's all together.
Yeah.
And it's so false. Pouring
Yeah.
into me is important. Pour into me because I'm definitely going to pour into you. And it's genuine. One thing I've learned with having friends, I've had long-term friendships from like elementary school.
Mhm.
And some of those friends, like we don't talk now today, but it took me through a lot of changes emotionally where I took it personal because I'm like, I don't understand. Like, we supposed to be friends and like,
Same.
but I had to come to realization. Everybody is not meant to take the whole journey. Some things are seasonal, some things are lifetime, and you have to be okay with it. As long as you did whatever you did it with all good intentions. Let the rest be. I literally just got to that point last year where I was like, okay, I'm no longer worrying about it. I'm not going to be in my feelings about it anymore.
Same. And I feel like the one thing that has helped me, because I'm in that exact same place still, I've had like one of my best friends I was friends with since first grade. And I think she moved away like maybe 5 years ago. Our communication started to dwindle. And so now it's like, we'll talk maybe like once every blue moon. And it's just like, what did I do? Did I do something? Should I be reaching out more? It's like, you don't need to force those connections. And also like, there's no love lost. There's no bad blood. We didn't have a falling out. But like you said, it's just like some people are there for a season. She needs to do whatever she's doing over there. I need to do whatever I'm doing over here. And I feel like changing that mindset also kind of showed me like, hey, maybe I should be cultivating more relationships within like the business world and like with other business owners. Like maybe that's what I'm meant to do now is kind of explore those relationships.
And it closes up, and I want to kind of tie into what you said about the whole seasons and reasons. I think that sometimes people do come into your life they teach you lessons. Sometimes people are in your life seasons and reasons, right? To use what you have until it's gone. And because I can no longer be of service to you, and you know that I am a person who believes in service and giving, you use that. And that also has taught me too, is to be very mindful and something that's going to really help me move forward in my life, whether it's business or personal. But I am very aware of what those relationships are. I do a check within myself to say, like, what do I have that this person want? And if I do not give this to this person, is this really a friendship, right? And I don't know if y'all have run into that as business owners where you have people who are opportunists. Are you reaching out to me for X, Y, and Z because you think I have something to give? Or is this like you really want to pour into me? And that's like, I don't know if y'all have encountered that in new friendships or new connections where people are, if they're intentional and they really want to connect with you because of who you are as a person versus what you have that you could possibly give.
I guess I'm not doing something right, or maybe it's this resting bitch face because don't nobody reach out to me asking anything really.
I mean, well, it's even with us. So we all met through entrepreneurship. I met Ashley through entrepreneurship. I met Chloe through entrepreneurship. And I must say, like, these connections have been genuine. It hasn't been where I felt as if, someone just trying to take from me or vice versa. It's just literally been like divine connections. And when Chloe, you mentioned about kind of like in friendship, trying to, get into the field of hanging around other entrepreneurships. I'm in that phase where I think that's good, especially if we're in this season of growing and blossoming. It's important for us to be around because they understand. They're going to bring us a different type of energy instead of hanging with people that cannot pour into us. Mm-hmm. But my cup needs to be full in order for the remaining to flow to someone else. Mm-hmm. So I can't even put myself in spaces where I'm just trying to be cool or trying to be friends with anyone. Mm-hmm. It don't work for me.
Both of y'all have been phenomenal, and just watching y'all grow, and it inspires me. And I know I don't pour as much into my business as much as I want to, but what I do in my career fulfills me as well. But just watching women like you who have children, who are out here in the world navigating this entrepreneurship by yourself and still making a way for other people. And not only are you opening doors for yourself, but you're bringing other people through these doors and through these thresholds. That means a lot for BIPOC women and people in our community, especially in Milwaukee. Milwaukee is very small. Although, everybody knows somebody, it is very segregated within people of color, especially women of color. Mm-hmm. And that can be really hard to create trust in business relationships or professional relationships, right? So I have been blessed to come across some really dope women, especially women of color, who have not only opened doors, who have kept the door open for me and gave me a seat at the table. What I try to focus on most when it comes to relationships is the ones who I can trust.
All three of us are thriving in our own way. We are all making an impact, being mothers, having these children so they can see, because our kids need to see that there's more than one way to live. There's more than one way to navigate life. It's unlimited what you can do. Ashley, you bring your kids to all the events, your daughter especially. I see her all the time with you when you're at events. So for her to see other Black women showing up, being their authentic self.
Yeah, and that representation matters too for your daughters and my daughter as well, to see Black women in these spaces and owning things. I can only think of growing up, the top of my head, maybe 2 or 3, one being my great grandmother who had their own business. But other than that, I didn't really see Black women outside of the cosmetology field or cleaning. My great grandmother was she cleaned houses and she had her own dry cleaning. My family, some of my aunts had, and cousins, they were beauticians, so they had their own shops. But outside of those kind of parameters of where Black women could really expand, I don't see that. So now that little Black girls and little Black boys are seeing so many spaces that they could possibly be in.
And we'll be right back. Hey, Rebecca here. We are so grateful to have you in this space and hope that you feel the same. If you find value in the work we are doing, please consider becoming a supporting member. We would love to keep this going with your help and hope in return to support your journey into and through middle life. For more information, go to interwoven.com/membership. Thank you.
And I'm just thinking about, as you got me thinking, I'm like, who did I know growing up with their own business? That wasn't a thing in my family, on either side, my mom's side or my father's side. And my parents were married. So, and I got good relationship with both sides. That wasn't a thing. It was more so go to work, go to school. It was that mentality. And like, for me, like I must say I'm proud of myself, because I'm not only breaking generational curses for my daughter, my other little cousins that's growing up, my other family members that's growing up. They are seeing that you can live your dream. You can do whatever you really put your mind to.
See, if a child can see it, then they can truly believe it. And if they can see someone that looks like them, the goal is more attainable. Not to say that the goal is not attainable, but they can't see the representation, but the mere fact that they can see. Your daughters can see what y'all are doing, and y'all take them to spaces where there are other people doing it as well. It just gives them so much more opportunities. And that is a gift that can't be bought. Even if neither one of them become an entrepreneur, this is a skill that they're going to take with them as they get older and just in their future life.
Yeah. Glad I'm doing something right, because motherhood is hard.
Listen, I'm like trying to talk to a 7-year-old to get her to understand the reasoning why is challenging, because you have to say it 5 different ways. You have to keep repeating it. And just because you told me this one time, guess what? I'm going to do it again, because I'm 7. I don't want to be a parent to act like I never done anything. I still want to give her a sense of freedom to make mistakes.
I come from a background where children were to be seen and not heard. And I always said once I got older, I would give my children the opportunity to voice their concerns and their opinions and apologize when I'm wrong. Boy, oh boy, oh boy.
It comes back to bite you in the ass. It comes back to bite you in the ass, okay? All of it is all of it.
Listen. And I had to continue to tell Riley, it's not what you say, it's how you're saying it. Let's remember, I am your mother. I am not, you know how our parents used to say, I'm not your little friend. I am not your friend. I respect what you're saying, but I need you to tone it. I need the tone to change. I need the gestures to calm.
It's so true how they say, like, we talk about our parents. We say we'll never be like our parents, and we end up just like them. I'll say something like, oh, shoot.
Yes, like, I can't believe I just said that.
I can't believe those words just came out of my mouth. Being in a space where, because Chase is in like a lot of predominantly white spaces, it's so challenging, because then she's this strong, bold Black girl that shows up like that in these predominantly white spaces, and the teachers don't know how to handle it. The kids don't know how to handle it. I find myself having to like potentially discipline her for showing up exactly how I'm teaching her in these spaces where people don't understand how she's showing up.
Like you had said, the teachers and children know how to handle it. And I feel in that it's not her problem for them to figure out how to handle it, right? When you said that she's in predominantly white spaces, I remember my mother, She sent us to predominantly white schools because she felt that that would give us more opportunity to be in those spaces. And baby, you see my skin color? I'm a little chocolate drop, okay? And I was maybe one or two black kids in my classroom. So that was a struggle. And when you saying that, it was a trigger in a good way. Well, a sad way in a good way. I wish someone, when I was that little, would have gave me the words to say when I was in spaces that they felt I didn't belong in. And I don't know what those predominantly white spaces are for children now in 2023, but I know in 1990 and 1980, it was not a good space to be in. So the fact that she has the verbiage to use and she has the words that you have given her, never be apologetic for giving your Black daughter the words she needs to protect herself in those spaces. Because it took me a while to figure out how to protect myself in those spaces. Not until I got into like middle school and high school. And by then, they already did a number on me. So the fact that she's able to empower herself and be unapologetically who she is, you're equipping her for what the world will be. Hopefully not, but we know in this direction it's going, what it will be as she gets older. And I know it has to be a challenge too, because depending on who the teachers are, like you said, don't know what to do with that. And so then I'm pretty sure you get phone calls or meetings and then it's like you said, so do you discipline her for standing up for herself? And then that's contradicting to what you tell her at home. And then she's back in the space again. Like, I know that has to be so challenging.
It's a song and dance like we are always doing in like our lives. And it's the same with how we have to handle our children in the spaces that they're in. It's just a constant song and dance until like the world catches up.
And working in youth development and working in early education, I always say that the youth are going to be the ones who are going to change it. This new generation of kids who are coming up are being raised by people of our generation and people of your generation who knows what we know now, right? And you don't know what you don't know until you know. And then when you start to teach your children, and then when children start to see, okay, something's not right about this, we have to fight for the injustice and the social justice and what's going on. Being a mother of Black and brown children it's something different. We have so many badges for being a strong Black woman. Child, I'm over to being a strong Black woman.
Yeah, I'm just a woman. Right. I'm in my soft girl era.
Yes.
I feel like I'm so old. I don't know what that means.
It's just meaning that, like you said, you want to be taken care of. You want to flow. I don't want to be the strong Black woman. That is, I think, everyone needs to erase that, because strong Black women are looked at a totally different way. And I don't know why we have that title, because no one else of race have strong anything woman. It don't sit well with me.
Black women are always seen as resilient and can endure all pain and challenges. But in reality, and that becomes a hindrance as well. And I know for me in leadership, when I used to be in spaces as the only Black woman, the things that would be said to me or the way I'd be treated, I didn't see that happening to my counterparts. We're going through the same thing, but yet y'all keep saying I'm resilient, but it's okay for this person to take a leave of absence when we're going through the same exact thing, right? So it's also dismantling that and telling people what you just said. Don't call me that. I'm not resilient in this space. Right, yeah, like I'm Black and I'm a woman, I'm Black and I can be strong at times, but don't call me that all at once.
To me, it's just also very telling, because I feel like for someone to assume that we're strong, it also begs the question like, oh, well, you feel like we've been through something. And we have been through a lot. Historically, we have been through a lot. So me, it's just like, it plays into that whole notion of you've contributed to everything that we've had to be resilient for and why we've had to be so strong. So it's just like, you understand where we've been, how we got here, but yet you don't want to have any accountability for anything that has led up to this point.
Yep, it's that extending rest. And that's what I try to do too in spaces with other women, whether Black or white, whatever the color may be, extending that grace. Because at the end of the day, being a woman, point blank, period, enough. That's enough to break a person, to just be a woman. And then you add on a layer of being a woman with children, and then being a woman that works a full-time job or being a full-time entrepreneur. All these layers is enough to make a person go mad at times. Sometimes I feel like get somebody else to do it. You want me to take you where? You got a school? Get somebody else to do it.
Get somebody else to do it, right?
I used to be a teenager who let my mother know a month in advance when stuff was happening, just because I wanted to make sure she's took care of it. My daughter would tell me the day before an event. Oh, my schedule I just don't have a schedule. I work for you, huh?
That's Chase. Chase told me it was dressed like a book character day. And I'm like, tomorrow? And it's 7 p.m. Okay.
So what is essential?
At this moment in my life, what's essential for me is peace and traveling. I had a traumatic experience in 2020 with the pandemic going into 2021. And I vowed to myself, I would try my hardest to not let my cup run dry again. And I will make sure that I would take care of myself, my mental health, my physical health, by any means necessary, in Malcolm X's voice, while holding that gun in my hand, staring out the window. I know that I'm no good to others if I'm no good to myself. And so right now is peace. And if that looks like a job is disturbing my peace, all right, here's my 2 weeks notice. Or any situation, friendships, anything that I feel that's going to do me harm, I have to let go and just ask God and the universe to take care of it. And then traveling. Last year, I did travel every month. That was a bit much. It was just a bit much. It was too much maneuvering for the kids and myself. And I think my husband probably was over it by December. He was just like, you know what? I want to support you, but this is not what I thought. So this year, I'm only taking a few trips, and I do rotations. We do a couple trip. I do a solo trip by the grace of God. My job pays for a couple of conferences, so I get to, travel based off of my performance and to learn and, of course, pour into my cup and perfect my craft. And then I do a friend's trip.
Traveling for me, again, very, very essential. Definitely what's essential for me right now, prioritizing my self-care, prioritizing me, but also prioritizing my relationships. Because I'm very good at staying on top of everything else, and I'll kind of let my relationships the wayside. Most importantly, like my romantic relationships and like my relationship with Chase, where I'm like, just come along with me to my markets. But it's like we don't really get a lot of time to connect. And I kind of have my attention has to be everywhere else. And I want to be very intentional about giving her my time and attention and that connection. So it's essential for me to prioritize my relationships. I want my business to thrive, but I also want my relationships to thrive too.
Yeah, I like that. Like we all travel. Travel is essential. I think traveling is just like a reset for me. It allows me to just explore, see new things. It's something different going to another city, state, country. So traveling right now, my self-care, meaning mind, body, and spirit, is essential to me. Taking time out for those things. However I have to do it, if that means I need to get up at 5 o'clock, sacrificing, going to sleep at 8, make sure I'm up on time to pray, work out, to get time before I need to get my daughter up. Also with my traveling is opening doors of opportunity for my daughter. So I've been doing a lot of traveling with her this year and plan on keep doing it, but just making sure that she's a part. Like Chloe said, I have to bring her to all these shows, but making sure that time is out for her. My relationship with God is important right now because I need to keep myself sane for business and motherhood and everything else I'm pouring into. So relationships for me, right now, romantic relationships, I'm open, but the main thing is making sure I'm whole. I don't want to get in another situation or relationship without doing work within myself and for myself. That's why I started the therapist, and that's why I got back onto my self working out, and because that's part of getting to know me, loving on myself. It's not even anything to do with appearance, but it's more so feeling good in my body, feeling good in my mind. I'm not closed off to it, but I'm just not settling either. I'm not just getting in a relationship just to be in a relationship. I'm in a space where I only want what I want and understanding that what I want does exist. And being okay. I'm alone. I'm not lonely. There's a difference. But yeah, and not being peer pressure, because you could be around people that seem like they're in these good relationships and you're like, oh, I want that, but in due time. So my relationship status right now, I'm just waiting. What about you, Chloe? Like, what's your essential within your relationship?
It's been a journey. I've had to really understand what you need to really make a relationship thrive. My parents are together, but I do feel like relationships have changed. And like that picture of like what a relationship should be, it's different for me. And I feel like you kind of take that on a lot of the times where it's like, oh, this is the picture of what a relationship to be. And that wasn't necessarily the case. Like their relationship is fine, but that wasn't fine for me.
Yeah.
Things that I would need in a relationship for it to thrive and for it to be something that could take me to whatever marriage or whatever that next step might be. Definitely working on that. But I know communication is big for me. Communication is big in a lot of spaces, but in a romantic relationship, you can't have a romantic relationship without communication. Until you've worked on like that emotional intelligence, that emotional wellness, until you understand like who you are and what you need spiritually, mentally, emotionally, and financially is very important in relationship too. I've come a long way. Therapy is essential for like all my relationships to thrive. So
we want other people to do things that we're not ready to do. I don't know which one of y'all said it earlier, that we have these expectations for what people should be doing for us, but we can't even do it for ourselves. And how do you expect somebody to pour into your cup when you got a hole in your cup? And I remember talking before I got married, I would always tell my one male cousin who I'm really close with, I never want to get married. I have no interest. I come from a home where my mother and father divorced very young, and I just know what that did to me as a child. And I remember when I told my cousin I was getting married, he was just like, girl, first of all, you said this and you said that. And I'm like, I know things change, right? In my relationship with my husband, who's now my husband, I had to learn how to love myself because I had kissed a lot of frogs who had did a number on me. And I'm pretty sure I have did a number on people as well. I wasn't ready to love myself just because I didn't feel worthy. And I always said to myself, I can't have someone come into this space loving on me when I don't even love myself. And it wasn't a physical thing, it was more of a mental thing, right? So like making sure that I loved myself before I had these expectations and telling somebody how I want to be loved, especially with all the different relationships I've been in. I learned along the way, that's not what I want. Oh, this is what I want. And you take and you create what that looks like. Also, and I say this to anybody who, is in a relationship, don't go into a relationship trying to tell somebody how to exactly love you. That was one of my things too, that me and my husband used to always go back and forth about. And he had said, like, you can't tell me how to love you. You can give me suggestions. You can tell me like your love language, but who I am as a person, this is what I have to give. And it's not either you take it or don't take it. But if I'm trying to love you authentically, 100%, and you're still not receptive to it, that has nothing to do with me. That's something that you have to fix within.
And that goes back into, being whole. Once you understand being whole is understanding yourself, knowing yourself, valuing yourself. And we've all been through heartaches and breakups and, these relationships that has did a number on us as well. Like you said, Ashley, we've done a number on people too, but we live and we learn and we grow and we evolve. And once we do that, we realize the need is more important than the want. Well, it was so good talking to y'all. I needed this. This was like a little, how you had the women therapy sessions where
I needed this on a Monday. It helped me reset and I appreciate it. I love honestly seeing both of y'all in community and space.
Yeah, Shiquita, I'm excited. I'm glad that I appreciate the invitation. Appreciate the opportunity to connect. Thank you.
Thank you guys both for being so open. I feel like we will have very good energy together. Thank you guys for being open and willing to do it as well.
Once again, thank you for joining us here for Interwoven's 4th season. Stay tuned for a brand new season of conversations coming in fall. Be sure to hit subscribe and visit our website at interwoven.com. That's INTERWOVXN.com to sign up for our newsletter, event invitations, and podcast release news. This show's copyright is June of 2023. We want to thank Melnick and Melnick SC, as well as Roots Milwaukee, Blossom Candle Company, and Joy Ice Cream Social for their support this season, as well as our producers, Teresa Kopak, Rebecca Jankowski, and Jen Gilmore. All original music was created and performed by Gina Barrington.